Hey guys, it's Mr. Graham. Another time with 5 minutes with Mr. Graham. Let's go to full screen real quick. Minimize this. And today we're going to talk about mean, median, mode, and range. And our goal is to learn as much as we can about them in 5 short minutes. So let's start this timer. And here we go. I found some really cool flashcards online. And if you've got the internet and you know how to use Google, and you put in mean, median, mode, and range, you can find them too. And Google skills nowadays, there's so much you can research, so much you can practice, so much you can learn if you know how to use a computer. It's so essential to have computer skills. And this is one of the things I found, range. Now range is a difference between the highest and lowest value. Now if you watched my other video about statistics, you would have found out what a data set is. And to remind you, a data set is basically a group of numbers that you found while recording from a survey question of some kind. And right here is our data set. And when you're finding the range, what you'll want to do is you'll want to find the lowest number, the highest number, and then do some simple subtraction. So the lowest number was 1, the highest number was 9, so 9 minus 1 equals 8, and the range is 8. So for this data set, the range is 8. It's pretty simple. If you can subtract, you can find the range. If you know which number is the biggest and which number is the smallest, you can find the range. And here's a helpful flashcard for you to use as well. Moving on to mode. Mode is the number which occurs the most. So if you have a data set, you'll want to look at what you see the most, which numbers pop up the most. And in this instance, 2 pops up twice, and 6 pops up twice. Everything else pops up only one time. So there's actually 2 modes. 2 and 6 are the mode. If we were make-believing that there was one more 2, let's just make-believe that, then the tie would be broken, and then only 2 would be the mode. But, you know, in this case, there were 2 modes. Really, just look for what number you see the most. If you can figure that out, figuring out the mode takes 3 seconds, guys. Just use your eyeballs and remember that mode stands for what number do you see the most in the data set. Median's a little bit harder. You'll have to arrange your numbers from your data set in numerical order. You'll have to start with the smallest number first and end with the biggest number at the end. So in this example, we see that 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 are all in order. And it's just so easy. It's just so easy. And all you have to do is figure out which number is in the middle. So we've got 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 all in order. And if you look carefully, you'll see 3 numbers on the left, 3 numbers on the right. But what's directly in the middle? 5 is directly in the middle. And I mean, that's your median. That's it. If there were 2 numbers in the middle, you'd have to find the mean of those 2. That's a little bit harder. But when there's 1 number directly in the middle, that's your median. It's so easy to do. All you have to do is put them in order first. That's what it says right there. And then find the middle number. The middle number. And then that's the answer. The median is 5. If there were, let's make believe there was one more 5. If they were both in the middle, then you'll want to pay attention to both of them. And what you'd have to do is 5 plus 5. You'd have to add both of the middle numbers, and that would equal 10. And then you'd have to divide that by 2. And you would get, well, in this case, you'd get 5 again anyway. But just look in the middle. Look in the middle for median. For mean, which is the hardest one, you have to add up all the values to get the total. That's what's going on right here. You see, they have a data set, and it's 3, 4, 8, 7, 5, and 3. And then they added all of those numbers together. And they got 30. And then after you get that total, you have to divide the total by the number of values you had. So we had a 3, that's 1, a 4, an 8, a 7, a 5, a 3. How many different numbers were there? There were 6 numbers. So you take your total of 30, you divide it by the amount of numbers you had, which was 6. 30 divided by 6 would give you 5. So the average, or the mean, is 5 in this case. And if you work with different data sets, you'll get different answers, different means, different modes, different ranges. Let's look one more time. Real quick review. I know the timer went off. This will only take an additional 20 seconds. Range. Biggest number minus smallest number in the data set. Mode. Number you see the most in the data set. Median. Number that happens to be in the middle of the data set when you arrange it from least to greatest. And if there's 2 numbers in the middle, add them together and divide by 2. And finally, mean, the toughest one to figure out. Add up all the numbers in the data set, make sure you do it correctly, and then divide that total by how many numbers there were in the data set. In this case, there were 6, so you divide by 6, then you'll get the mean. Alright, guys. That was a lot for 5 minutes with Graham. I hope that was a helpful review or you learned something new. I'll see you guys next time.